It is the truth. It's all anybody has. At the end of the day, it's your self-respect. That's all you have. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter the material things. It's like sort of meaningless. They don't mean anything. They're just things that you have while you're alive. It's meaningless. Once we're gone, too, think about it. Like 2 generations, nobody even knows who you are. It's weird, right? It's weird unless you're like Achilles or something. Um, Other than that, like, so while you're here, like, what are you gonna do? You gotta have self-respect. You can't kiss anybody's ass, right? That'd be horrible. Just being a real kiss ass, right? No, nobody likes a kiss ass. It's the truth. No, nobody likes somebody that kisses. You know, you're kissing somebody's ass. The person's ass that you're kissing can't stand you. It's the truth. All we have is self-respect. That's it. Some people don't have self-respect though. Some people don't have respect for other people, like for whatever reason. Like there's like teachers' pets. That's a good term. Slick Rick. Yeah, I guess does the teacher like the teacher's pet? I wouldn't. Who wants the person that you know what I'm saying? Nobody likes to kiss ass. Don't do it. Don't do it. There's no reason to do it either. It's like have some self-respect. Don't worry about it. Um, like what is a good reason to kiss somebody's ass? There isn't one. I can't think of one reason that I would kiss anybody's ass. Certainly, at some point in everybody's life, you have to like shut up. That's not necessarily kissing somebody's ass. I don't just say everything to everyone. Do you know what I mean? Like, I have a filter, sort of. Not really. I talk to everybody pretty much the same way. I'm saying I have a filter, but I don't know how much of a filter I have. When I was dealing when I was in the art world, like I would get invited to parties. I went to a couple. I went to this one guy's party, Richard Extract. He was, I don't know, like this magazine mogul. He bought some artwork of mine. It's loaded, just absolutely loaded. Penthouse apartment, and went to he's invited me to his Christmas party. It's like the novelty item at the Christmas party. It's true. I was the poorest person there for sure. I can't remember what artwork he bought. He bought something. It was, wasn't cheap. I'd have to ask the gallery. I've made so many pieces. But so he invites us to the Christmas party. The gallery owner went with me, both of them. They said I could bring a date. I brought 2 dates. I brought Don and Matt. So I didn't want to go alone. I wasn't going to a Christmas party alone. They wanted to go. They were totally into it because the one guy's total kiss ass. I like them both, but I mean, some people that sell art kiss ass for sure. So we went to this party, and I don't know. I'm used to dealing with people. I'm from like this area in St. Louis, right? It's an affluent area, Clayton. So I grew up around wealthy people. We weren't wealthy, but I'm not impressed by money. That's for sure. Like growing up, it's whatever. Somebody always has more money than someone else. So I sort of learned how to talk to people there, I think, when I was a kid. Like, I don't really give a shit. You know, his dad is vice president of Anheuser-Busch. Why do I give a shit, you know? Who cares? Nobody gave a shit that I was poor. You know what I'm saying? No one judges somebody by their wealth, really. They don't. Or you shouldn't. It doesn't have anything to do with anything, really. Some people are luckier than others. But I was saying whatever I wanted to Richard Extract and his wife. I'm a cut up. What am I gonna do? They wanted me to entertain, didn't they? They wanted me there as the novelty item. You know? Yeah, here's this Peter King. We bought that artwork from him. Oh, I think I remember what they bought. They bought a sexy robot girl in a blue skirt, exactly like Destiny is wearing right now. That's what they bought. It was a sexy robot girl in like a white shirt and like a blue, like short, like Catholic school girl thing. It was a robot though. And he said that they were going to put it in the entryway at their house in the Hamptons. That is what they bought. It was real pretty. It was a pretty piece. It's a great looking robot. You know, looked like if it was alive, it could, or real, it would rip your face off. But that's what they bought. God, I forgot about that. That's exactly the piece that they bought. It's a good piece. Made a lot of stuff like that back in the day. But I you know, I don't get nervous like famous people. Like, I don't really get nervous around famous people. I've known people that that say like oh, it's weird meeting that, you know. Like, why? It's just a person. Who cares? They got fucking issues just like you. I met Daniel Tosh when he was a kid. This is true. St. Louis. My friends were having a party. I was back from Kansas City. I remember meeting him. He was Daniel Tosh. He was 15, 16-year-old Daniel Tosh. And my friends had little brothers. And so they invited people. And then the older brother that was around our age invited people because the parents were out of town. Walking up the driveway, my friend Chris is like, "Hey, Peter, come here. I want you to meet Daniel." It was Daniel Tosh. He lived in South St. Louis. And he was sober at that time. And real preppy, super preppy kid. I said, "What's up, Danny?" He goes, "My name's Daniel." I said, "Okay, Danny, that's cool." Like that. And so anyway, we didn't stay at the party very long because it was like a young crowd. I was probably 22 or something like that. We went out to a bar, and then we showed back up much later. And Daniel was wasted. He was really ripped, like noticeably drunk. But who didn't do stuff like that when they were 15 or 16? He wasn't throwing up. He was just ripped. Little did I know then that I would be on a show years later. But I didn't get nervous seeing him, meeting him. Fame doesn't really impress me. Nothing really impresses me. I admit it. I don't know what impresses me. Nothing. Oh, I know what impresses me. Somebody that can actually work with a dog. Somebody that can keep their shit together and functions around a dog. That's impressive. Destiny impresses me. Not because she's wearing the blue skirt that the robot girl was wearing, but she's artistic. That sort of impresses me. She's talented. That's impressive. Her look is impressive too. That's because she's my total type. Like, um, but I can't think of like people that are famous don't impress me. I've worked with some dog owners that were like a basketball player, a baseball player. That really doesn't impress me. I worked with this catcher for the Mets. He's a good guy. He's a nice guy. Him and his wife or girlfriend. They finally got married. But I don't know. He's all right. So it's one of those dudes that the basketball player was tall, pretty big. The baseball player was deceiving because if he was walking down the street, you'd just think, oh, he's just a dude. You get up close to the dude, he was a freaking monster. I said that to him. I said, dude, you're a monster. How much do you weigh? And I'm not talking fat. I'm talking like the guy. It's just solid. He's a professional athlete, even though that I do think that basketball or baseball isn't really a sport. Clearly, the better athlete you are, the better you're going to be at that sport. And he's pretty good. He's pretty good. He's got another family member that's in the sport. But I was like, dude, you're a freaking monster. Like, I thought that. Like, I was talking to him. I'm go, this guy would be hard to take in a fight. He's big. But yeah, nothing. I mean, I don't know. His fame didn't impress me. The fact that he could hit a baseball bat or hit a baseball with a baseball bat or catch a fucking ball didn't impress me. I don't know. It would have impressed me more if he were to work with the dog more. So he had some discipline, but I worked with this other baseball player's dog. He was a pitcher for the same team. And that dude was weird because he almost looked sort of redneck. He had a mullet. Nice enough guy. And the dog that they had was just spoiled freaking rotten. Yeah, it just doesn't impress me. It would impress me if they tipped me more. That might have impressed me. The tip would have been impressive. No, I'm just kidding. Can't really buy me. I don't really give a shit. Just pay your bill. You know. Rich people do have a tendency to tip, though, which is nice. You know, I've always worked in the service industry. So I am a heavy tipper. If I go in a restaurant, I'm tipping, and I'm tipping heavy. It's a fact. And for you all that don't know it, if you go in a restaurant, you know somebody in the restaurant, and your meal gets comped, whatever the meal cost, you should at least leave that as a tip, right? Do you find a lot of your clients don't follow through with training? No, a lot of them do. So not as much as they should, probably. Does that make sense? Because I think everybody should, do it more. Where was I? Oh yeah, just if somebody comps your meal in a restaurant, you give the waiter or waitress that amount, but you should probably give them that amount and the tip that you were going to give. It's not like you got a free meal. People want something free, I guess. I don't know. Like, remember when Domino's, if they were late, you get a free pizza or some shit? I was in University of Missouri at Columbia. I was at Mizzou visiting some friends. That was a whole deal at this Sigma Nu house. they're always like, let's call Domino's and they're probably going to be late and we'll get a free pizza. But that's like college kids, so, you know, but it seemed like it was sport to them. Like they'd be like, click, the stopwatch is running. And the Domino's people wouldn't give a rat's ass because that's like a chain. I worked at Pizza Hut. I delivered Pizza Hut pizzas for a while in Kansas City. I was driving a cab and I flipped off the mayor. There's another example. It doesn't impress me. Your driver is driving like a dick. Actually, I didn't flip him off. What happened is I pulled out, right? I put on the gas. I was going to work. And he feels that I cut him off. So what the dickhead mayor did with his driver sped up, got in front of me, and then the mayor through the back window said, I got your number. And I said, fuck you. So I lost my cab license for just a couple months. The guy that was in charge of the taxi and livery licenses, he goes, man, I'm sorry. I got to do this. The mayor's like giving me shit. Just go away for like 60 days. You come back in, I'll give you your license back. So I delivered pizzas for a couple months. That guy, Emmanuel Cleaver, is a representative. He's in the House right now. Talk about a petty man. You know? Talk about a petty man. What a tool. Not impressive. I wouldn't vote for that guy. He's a dick. What do you want me to say? I was not impressed. He didn't impress me at all. How about that? I'm trying to think if anybody's ever impressed me at all. I've never been nervous around anybody. Can't think of anybody. Yeah, it doesn't. I don't give a shit. So what? You're famous, big deal. Is there anybody I'd like to meet that's famous? Probably be a comedian. Don Rickles, I guess. I'd like to meet Don. I think he's still alive. Yeah, Don. Don would be cool to meet. I can't think if there's anybody else. No, just nobody else. Don Rickles is at the top of my list, I think. Yeah, that's probably it. My son is 19 and he loves Don. No shit. Don was funny. He was one comedian, and probably one of the only comedians that I know that could get away with racial humor. I don't know how that guy pulled that off. I think he could still get away with it, and I think the last time I saw him, he was doing something like that. He was Don died a few years back, FYI. Did he? It wasn't too long ago. Then, are you sure of that? I thought he was still alive. But I mean, that guy was brilliant. You know? I loved watching him on Johnny Carson. And he was always giving Ed McMahon shit about calling Ed McMahon a drunk. That was his deal. It's like, you know, accusing him of drinking. Yeah, I saw him back there. He's drinking, you know? But evidently, Ed McMahon never drank a drop, and Johnny was the scotch drinker. Johnny would be drinking scotch on the set, but Don was giving... It makes sense. You give the sober guy shit about being drunk, and Ed McMahon would just be chuckling, you know. Don Rickles, man, that guy was a gift, you know. He really was. He was a gift. Like as a kid, watching him on Johnny Carson, I wanted to be a comic. Watching him, and God, I would stay up. First grade, I'd stay up and watch at least Johnny's monologue, but I'd wait and see who was on. Um, you know, all those Richard Pryor, all those I'd just stay up and watch them. I had a little tape recorder. Sometimes I'd like tape record their sets. Um, but I mean, like, you name it, was they'd have them on that show. Then Jay Leno got the show, and then it wasn't as good. But that show was great too. I wish they'd play the old shows late at night. Well, I'm sure they probably have them, don't they? I mean, I've never looked. Yeah, Don Rickles was an insult comic. And I just, the guy could get away with it. He was a brilliant dude. I mean, there's a lot of comedians from that time that I know of, but I didn't really like get. Rodney Dangerfield. I didn't really like Rodney that much, but I'd watch him. I thought he was entertaining. I thought his mannerisms and everything were entertaining. My wife doesn't give me any respect and shit like that. It was just watching that man was entertaining, but I didn't, I didn't really, it wasn't like, it doesn't really come to mind as like, whoa, he's a brilliant comedian. Richard Pryor was brilliant. That guy was brilliant. Carlin was brilliant, but once again, Carlin, I would watch him, but for some reason, not really my cup of tea. I liked him. He was on a lot. I'd see him as a kid. He changed things. The words you can't say and all that. He changed things. Norm Macdonald is witty, sure. Steve Martin, I never liked him. As a banjo player, yes. As a comedian, nope. Never really saw what people saw in him. Chevy Chase too. What the hell was up with him? Like, he was just not funny, man. Steve Martin was not funny. I did not find him funny. Martin was goofy. It wasn't my cup of tea. There's a lot of comedians that were sort of entertaining to watch, but I didn't find them funny. Like you can watch. Listen. So some of them, I couldn't sort of stand to watch, but I would watch them anyway because it was like a train wreck. Like Robin Williams. I know there was a brilliance about the guy. There's nothing funnier than the sad clown. It was clear that's what he was, and in the end, he proved it. But that guy, he always did he's doing like some variation of his Mork routine, Mork from Ork. Like, shut up, Robin. Could you just act normal? Like, he'd do his set, he'd come over and talk to Johnny or whoever, and he wouldn't come out of he was still doing the bit. Shazbot, Nanu Nanu, or whatever he was saying. Just shut the fuck up, Robin. Just act normal for a little bit. With that said, I lived up above this guy, Patrick, that made this movie, and Robin was in it. And there were a bunch of people in it. There was like an after party. God, what was her name? I met a couple. Anyway, it's a long story. But I asked him, I said, well, that guy just bothers the shit out of me. He said, oh, Robin's great. And I said, but he never turns it off. He goes, no, he does. He's really normal. Like, unless he's doing his bit. Like he's really normal. So he turned it off at some point. He just like as soon as the camera was on, he was doing his fucking shtick. Unless he played a serious role. You know, sometimes they play those serious roles, and you see that there's nothing, you know, comedians playing a serious role. Like seriously, talk about the sad clown. You know, comedians are real dark, so you know they can play those roles fairly easy. You know, they just reach inside of their darkness and start, you know. But yeah, Robin, I couldn't stand him. You know, Jim Carrey, you know, Jim Carrey's brilliant, and he's got a face made of rubber. Seriously, the guy is brilliant. The first movie that I saw him in was like Doing Time on Maple Drive or something like that, whereas something to do with somebody committed suicide in the family is playing a serious role. Like that guy's brilliant. You know, Mary Tyler Moore and him and someone else. Anyway, he can act. You know, he's really this brilliant guy. But, you know, instead of doing decent movies, and I'm not saying that all his movies weren't decent, I'm just saying those ones where he's talking about poo all the time and fart noises, give me a break. Pet Detective, Dumb and Dumber. Dumb and Dumber, I can't watch it. It's horrible sophomoric humor. And I don't know why they did that. Did they do that for money? They must have done that movie for money, because you know there's no reason anybody should be making Dave Chappelle is brilliant. You are right. Now that guy is funny as hell. That guy, his show was brilliant too. Love Dave. But that Dumb and Dumber and the how is a fart funny? I mean, come on, isn't that just like that's right there with the Three Stooges. You know, it's lower brow than the Three Stooges if you add it is. And that's saying a lot, because the Three Stooges is lowbrow humor. And I would watch that as a kid, and I never thought it was funny. I'm not really sure why I was watching it. Why did anybody watch the Three Stooges? Although there was a Three Stooges movie that I thought was fascinating, and Shemp wasn't in it at that time, I don't think, because Shemp was already dead. Curly Joe was playing in it, and you know, there was an alien in a spaceship. It was pretty awesome. So you would only see that, like, that would play on some Sundays. Sundays they would play movies, like there'd be old movies from like the 30s and 40s, like Johnny Weissmuller playing Tarzan and shit. My dad would watch this thing called Charlie Chan, which was this guy playing a Chinese dude, a Chinese detective. Sort of racist, because I think it was a white guy playing an Asian dude. You know? All the tropes you can think of, like, you know, I saw, you know, and then they had like this weird painted on mustache and shit. Just a lot of stuff like that growing up, I would see. My dad would watch a lot of, like, they'd play John Wayne movies too, and I don't see a lot of John Wayne movies anymore. They probably don't want to play them because there's like some of those war movies were, God, man, denigrating to, you know, the Japanese for sure. That was after the war too, so come on, like, can we forgive and forget or something? Like, why you get, you know, why you? But that's still done to this day. If you see a war movie about the Middle East, you'll hear terms that like you wouldn't generally use. It's a movie, you know, like racist terms. They probably don't show John Wayne movies of that era because nobody wants to watch a black and white movie that's shitty. Like the quality's low. Why are you gonna watch that when you can watch something from the '90s that looks great, and then after 2000, come on, man. There was a point where you watch Curb Your Enthusiasm. When it first starts, they're using HD cameras, and you can tell it's HD, but it's like it's shitty HD. And then as Curb Your Enthusiasm starts getting better, the quality of the HD cameras, you know, it's like this. This is a phone. This phone is better quality than Curb Your, you know, when Curb Your Enthusiasm started. Larry David is hilarious in a, yeah, he is. John Ford was an amazing film director. Well, sure. How about Elvis in some of his movies? He played a native, an Indian. I forgot what that movie was called. And I don't think he sang in that movie. I think it was like a serious role. He, oh, did he directed most of John Wayne's films? I believe it. I believe it. John Wayne had a lot of roles, or had a lot of he did a lot of work. He had a yacht he lived on a lot, I think. It's like this big yacht. I think his kids said that they didn't like him, that he was like a strict disciplinarian or something. Who wants a strict disciplinarian as a parent? You know, can you lighten up a little bit? It's the 60s, you know. Flaming Star, I think that was it. Thank you, PL. It's just like, you know, give me a break. The Green Berets, yeah. What was the one where he played Hellfighters? Was that it? Hellfighters, where he's putting out oil wells. That was 60s. That was about the same period. That's pretty good, as I remember. You know, I'm almost through my shelf here with this. Two canines, and I don't know. I still say in the end, it's all you got is your self-respect. Don't bother kissing anybody's ass. It's not worth it. You don't know how many times I walked out on a job. Seriously. I remember this one dude was delivering pizzas for this guy. The guy called me Petey. I didn't like his tone. I quit. You know? I don't need that dude. He was an idiot, though. He was an idiot. I'll tell you why I knew he was an idiot. He was bragging about his girlfriend, his new girlfriend. This is true. And he said, she's real hot. And she was showing a picture of her. She was like this flashy blonde woman. And he goes, and she's dumb as a rock. And I said, dude, Ross, she's dumb as a rock? You like that? And he goes, yeah, what? You like a smart woman? Yeah, I like to be able to talk to him, Ross. Petey likes smart women. Hey, you're a dick. You know that? You sound like an idiot. I quit. How do you address leash aggression? Well, first of all, let me ask you a question. Do you allow your dog on furniture or sleep in your bed? How do I address it? Through training. Not with an e-collar, I'll tell you that. Do you let the dog, this Facebook is asking that a question. Yes. Well, your dog's not going to get better if you let it sleep on the bed and let it on furniture, so what's the point of me wasting my breath? That's why you have leash aggression. Now it's too late, the dog's doing it. You're not gonna be able to fix this yourself, because you're asking me how do I address it. And I don't have a magic wand. Any type of aggression, I would recommend you send the dog here for a board and train, because there is no simple solution. See the problem? You don't know how to hold a leash proper. So you already have a dog that you allow up on furniture, George. So just getting it off the furniture at this point ain't gonna do it. You gotta evict the problem. If I did a board and train with your dog, if I trained your dog and it was going back, you could never let it on the bed again. See the problem? I tell that to some people, and they just, oh my God, I can't let the dog sleep in my bed. Okay, then keep having leash aggression with your dog, because I'm not going to waste my time training your dog if you're not going to do what you should do, which is not let the dog sleep in the bed or on furniture. What you have when you let the dog do that, you probably do other things too that have caused this problem, George, is you've confused the status of your dog. The dog sees itself, or sees you as a resource, right? Get away from me. It's leash aggressive. It feels like it should act like a dog, would it, do you understand what I'm saying? You confused its status. It thinks it's an equal. Go ahead and act this way. That's what you're telling the dog. You allow it up on the bed, you allow it on the couch, and now it's happening, and now you have to have the problem evicted, and you're not going to be able to do it. I wish I had a simple solution for you, but I don't. And the way that I address that is through training, and training is a lot of muscle memory, and it's repetitious. And you're not going to know how to do it. I can't just say, George, I'm serious. If anybody contacts me and it's constant, aggression is the most common behavioral problem in dogs. And I tell everybody the same thing. Board and train only. That's the only way you're going to get the dog fixed. You got to know how to correct the dog, but even more than correcting the dog, George, it's about drilling the dog with all the commands and everything, and then gaining control of the dog. And I can't do that with doing private lessons and your dog is there. That doesn't work. And you can't get the dog, you're not going to get the dog to stop being leash reactive with food. Okay, that's a joke. So it's tough. Hang on. It's tough to sleep alone without your dogs. No, wait a minute. You can sleep with your dog, just not in the bed. You could have the dog right by your bed. On the left-hand side, preferably. What's up, Sean? Do you understand what I'm saying? You want the body in the bed, but it's bad for your dog's behavior, and then you get leash aggression. Which do you want? Do you want the dog that's a dick, that might bite somebody or get in a fight with another dog? Do you want that? Why don't you get a boyfriend or girlfriend? There's your solution. You're sublimating by letting your pet sleep in the bed. That's it. I dated somebody that was okay with it. I was like, this sucks. You don't want the dog in the bed especially when you're there's no room and the dog takes up space. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's not positive. It sucks. It sucks because it's screwing up your dog's behavior. You're confusing the status of your dog. I'm drilling a hole in this, emerging leader. It doesn't, I get it. I get it. I understand, but it's not positive for your dog. You're gonna screw up the dog. You can't even let him on furniture, man. And you screw up the dog. You just said that. You do. You give people food? Who wants to admit to giving people food? It's hard to find a lover. My dogs are my mates. I never thought about that. What do you mean it's hard to find? Get on Tinder. I don't know. Do you have Facebook? You can meet people through social media. Maybe go take a dog training class somewhere. Go take a class at a community college. You have to be around people to meet people. There's the internet, man. I mean, come on. You got Instagram? Maybe you could meet somebody on Instagram. It's not really that hard, is it? Well, hey, I got through. I got through with the drill. It is sort of hard at times. But, like, you're using the dogs, you're sublimating, using the dogs to have the warm body next to you, and it's fucking up your dogs. It's not helping them. Would like to meet people in person. Yes, but here, listen. You could meet somebody in person. Of course, you want to meet them in person. Maybe there's somebody in your area on Facebook, and then you could meet them later or something. I don't know. Man, I know people that met on Tinder. Don't listen to Sean. Don't listen to him. Don't let your dog sleep in the bed, okay? It's not positive. It's not positive. Don't do it. Don't do it. But everybody that has leash reactive dogs, you ask them and they let the dog sleep in the bed. So, if you're in the city and around people all the time, I don't recommend doing it because you have your dogs on the street and then you look like a dick. You can't take your dogs anywhere because they're fucking barking at other dogs or people. Don't do it. Keep the status. Don't confuse the status. Don't. You get a Malinois or some high drive dog and you let it sleep in the bed, watch out. Watch fucking out. And then when the dog bites somebody or gets in a fight with the dog, no, it's your fault. It's your fault. It's a fact. Hang on. I want to meet animal lovers. You're definitely giving me. Most of my dogs were good until the most recent one. Well, you know what? I don't necessarily believe you. Because I've heard it so many times. My dog's great. And then I hear this, except when. Shit like that. You loved your dog. I'm not doubting that you love your dog. I'm just saying, I've heard it all. Okay, it's always something like that. I get emails from people that say that, really. They'll say, like, my dog's really great. They talk about it like going after their friend. And I said, Wait a minute, you're making excuses here. You said the dog is friendly to you, but it tried to bite your friend and shit like that. It's just nonsense. It's all about training. You're not going to train your dog? You're going to allow it up in the bed? The leash reactive dog, I bet it doesn't know heel. Does it? It doesn't know heel. Get it out of your bed, get it trained, and that's it. That's it. But how are you going to get it trained? You already are in this mindset that you need the dog to sleep in your bed. And then now you're like, well, this one I'm having trouble with. I have heard that so many times too. I see people that get like one dog, right? And then they get another dog and they start having problems with the new dog and they start labeling the new dog like stupid or bad or something, like comparing it to the first dog and shit. It's absurd, but neither dog is really trained. It's this one dog is sort of easier than the other. But they'll start playing off of each other and you'll have two dickheads on your hand. Seriously. I mean, you know, your excuse like it's hard to meet people. Yeah, I guess. Especially when you have two dogs with you. Do you take the dogs everywhere? I mean, seriously. Yeah, so you admit to doing stuff like that. Maybe you need to leave the dogs at home to meet somebody, because does anybody want to deal with you and your two giant dogs? They're big, right? But are they big? Like, what do you have? Like mutt shepherds or something? I'm guessing. Like they're kind of like muddish, but they're cool. Don't go to the dog park. That's not any place you want to meet anybody either. And your dogs will get screwed up there too. Maybe you could do this. Maybe you could just take a class at a community college that has the subject is animal husbandry of one kind or another. And then it'll probably be a bullshit class on food training though. And then you could meet somebody there. Or maybe, let me be truthful with you here. Bristol, are you listening? It's hard to find, 2 months and one small Weimaraner. You got 3 dogs? Come on. Nobody's going to hang out with you, Bristol. Sorry. You got 3 dogs, man. You're totally sublimating. One's your boyfriend and 2 children, right? Something like that. It's ridiculous. You know, are you sick of dating? Tell the truth. Yeah. Where are you, Bristol? Are you sick of dating? And because I've run into that a lot. Yes, you're sick of dating. I've run into the person that's older, and it's a female a lot of times. They're sick of dudes, so they get a dog to sublimate. So instead of their boyfriend, they have a dog. They let it sleep in the bed, and then they have constant problems with the damn dog. That's been my experience. I've seen a lot of like chicks above 40. They're sick of dating. They get a dog, and then they don't get the dog trained, and they let the dog do whatever. And it's just pure sublimation. You know, I get it. Dogs are great to have around. But it's not your own species. I'm in Florida. I'm not sick of dudes. Oh, so you would date dudes, right? Why don't you go to the beach without the dogs or something? Do you ever leave them at home, Bristol? Do you leave them at home? Maybe you could go to the beach and, chat it up with some guy. But what I'm saying is, maybe you don't need to have a boyfriend that is good with dogs. Maybe it'd be better if you just like left the dogs alone, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? You don't need somebody that's really into dogs. Because a lot of times the peripheral person, the peripheral person like will screw up your training and all that, but I don't know how much training you do anyway. But maybe you just need to hang out with somebody. I'm giving advice here. Maybe you need to hang out with somebody that just isn't into dogs and you like. They don't have to like dogs. Not everybody has to like dogs just because you're into them. But if you're having problems with the dog, man, you're gonna take all three dogs to the beach or something. By the way, dogs don't do well at the beach because they're not into it. They don't want to be in the sun. It's a terrible place to take your dog anyway. So don't take your dog to the beach. And a lot of times they start panting and they drink salt water. You'll be taking your dog to the vet. So I get it. I get it. When you're in Florida, it seems like there's plenty of stuff you could do where you could meet somebody. But you're going to have problems with those dogs if you let them sleep in the bed. I mean, seriously. So I wish I had better things to say. Seriously, Bristol. But keep looking. You'll find somebody that gets along with dogs. Yes, take your dog to a lake, not the beach. They can drink the lake water. They can't drink the beach water. And the hot sun, dogs are miserable. Okay, that's correct. Take them to a lake. There's beaches at lakes too. You can take them there, and there's also like trees right next to the beaches at lakes. You can hang out underneath there, and your dog won't be miserable. And if it gets hot, you can take your dog in the lake, and it can drink the water. And there's plenty of places in Florida with fresh water. There's that area up there in Tampa with that real blue water, man. That's a great place to take a dog. Like take them to the where the manatees swim in there. Do that. I was I was by the river, or I was by salt water, but I always had a tendency, like I'd take Mango, put him in a kayak and go in the East River. That's salt water, but he's not swimming around in it, drinking it. So just know that, like dogs, really, they'll start drinking salt water and you'll have an issue. It's not anything I'm making up. I didn't want to bring you on camera. I don't know who you are. I don't even know what that is on Facebook when it says that. Bring them on camera. I don't want to bring anybody on camera. I lived in St. Petersburg for 20 minutes. The last time I went to a beach, it was in Long Island. It was nice, but it's not like a beach in Florida. Beach in Florida is fucking great. Like, that's what I liked as a kid. Like, Florida, Puerto Rico. I really like that. No, I don't sell dogs. Why would I sell dogs, man? But the name isn't Peter Kane Dog Seller, is it? No, I don't sell dogs, man. Do you? No, I don't own a puppy mill. If you do a split screen, then add them to a video. I don't want to do a split screen and add them to a video. Why? They might say something stupid, you know? They might start talking positively about You know what I'm talking about. Some of you do. I won't talk about it because there's a lot of support over there. No, I can't go visit. No way. Destiny's from Florida. It's for podcasting. Oh, the Facebook thing is for podcasting? Is that what you're telling me? Pigeon Lady, you know about this FB thing? Bring them on camera? Oh, I see. I see how it could work. Wait a minute. Thank you, PL. You could be like Gordon Ramsay and yell at them. Oh, you're an idiot. Right, I know, I could. Any advice about what? You can add us mods on too. I need mods on here on Facebook. I had to get rid of some guy today. It seems like every day I had to get rid of somebody. But you know what? Facebook isn't as many trolls as it used to be. Seems all right. So, PL, do you have a Facebook page? I didn't think any of you all did. Toxic? Does Toxic have Facebook? Nobody has Facebook, do they? We need to set that up. You don't have a Facebook page? I've had a Facebook page and I follow. Oh, you follow me as like, I see. I see. It's I've had it longer than YouTube, I think by a year. I have about 60,000 followers on my Peter Kane dog training page. It's not like anything I want to get rid of, but there's this element on Facebook that just like, you know, I mean, I have it. I still keep it. There's aspects of it that I do like, but there's really like this sort of like, I'm not going to go into it. You know, I'm not going to go into it. I think a lot of you on YouTube know where I would go with that, so what's the point? But I mean, I have a Facebook page. I've had it for a long time. I had about 2,000 people on it. Now I have under 900 because I just started. I don't know this person. I'm getting rid of them. I can't see it. But it's like, it's not YouTube. And I'll tell you what, if you have a problem on Facebook, good luck talking to anybody. And I have a problem with Google right now because when I was hijacked, my AdSense account, I don't know, money didn't go into my bank today. I'm pissed, you know, we're broke, you know, where's my money? And they're just like, I'm talking to this person that's just like, you know, at least I was talking to somebody. I said, you're a bot. And she said, no, I'm human. But she wasn't helpful, but at least it was somebody. With Facebook, you can't get a hold of anybody. So I'm going to have to try and contact them again because, you know, we didn't get paid. I had a feeling this was going to happen. I knew that there were going to be repercussions of the hijacking that was going to, like, you know, fuck us. Such a drag. But, you know, trying to scam people on Bitcoin. They can't get their own channels, so they hijack other people's channels. Gee, thanks. Thanks, Dick. Unbelievable. It was so obviously a scam, too. If you hear it, it's just like... I lost subs during it, too. There were people that were like, what's this? And I'm unsubbing. Like, they unsubbed me. It was a bummer. Sucked. Who don't drink? I don't drink. I don't drink. I haven't had a drink in over, I don't know, 25, 26 years. Thank you, emerging leader. I'll see you, man. You're welcome. What time is it? Oh, it's almost 11. You gotta wake up and work Merlin again. I hope it's sort of warm again, but I think it's gonna be freezing cold, so, you know. Anyway. How much live streaming did I do today? I choose YouTube over everything. Sorry. Yeah, well, you know, it's just like whatever, you know. They wouldn't have wanted to hijack my channel if I only had 10,000 subs. So, but it sucks. And then, I don't know. Screw it. All right, I'm going to sleep, everyone. We will have the test panel thing. All right, I see what you're saying. PL, I see what you're saying about it's for like a podcast thing. Like you could use it, Facebook, and you could interview somebody. Right? That's the advantage to this. You just bring them on camera and it just split screens it. Not a bad idea. All right, I'm going. I'll see you guys. Thanks, everybody. I'm tired. I'm going to sleep. I got to deal with Google.